Bonjour tout le monde, aujourd'hui faisons voyage à Montréal. If you didn't understand anything I just said and you're wondering why I'm speaking French, well, today we are taking a trip over to Montreal, a city in Quebec, here in Canada. Montreal is known for their poutine, beaver tails, and maple syrup, but is also known for its hauntings, scary stories, and ghost sightings. In fact, Montreal is considered to be an extremely haunted city. The most haunted city in all of Canada. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 Scary Montreal Urban Legends. But before we begin, make sure to comment down below what urban legend video you want to see from us next. Starting off this countdown, we have Prince Arthur Street. Legend goes that a house located on Prince Arthur Street is home to a ghost that likes to play mind games on the residents. So in 1929, a family was living at this home when they realized that knots would start to appear in their curtains. It seemed odd, but they ignored the little knots. But this only made it worse. Soon all the curtains would get weird knots in them, as if someone was going around tying them. They just thought that it was their little daughter doing it, so they never thought much of it. However, years later, a new tenant moved into the house and reported that he too would find knots in his curtains and also his bed sheets. So now it's believed that the home is haunted by a ghost that shows its presence by leaving marks everywhere that it can. In our ninth spot, we have the John Doe Pub. The John Doe Pub is said to be one of Montreal's most haunted pubs, because apparently Montreal is just filled with haunted pubs. Ghosts just love their brewskis. Ever since the owner Troy opened the pub in the 90s, it's been home to tons of paranormal activity. During renovations, Troy claims that he could hear phantom footsteps following him around the building. Sometimes when sitting alone at the bar, he can hear a woman's voice talking. And on one occasion, he was actually pushed by an unseen force. Also, faucets will turn on by themselves, the lights will flicker, and glass bottles will move and rattle on their own. Like, imagine just trying to enjoy your night having a few drinks when a ghost tries to rain on your parade. Like, okay, I wouldn't mind, I'd just buy him a shot as long as he's a chill ghost. Coming in at number 8, we have the invisible pets. So, Montreal is haunted by a number of ghosts, but apparently is also haunted by a bunch of ghost cats and dogs. Legend goes that in the early 70s, the Gray family had an invisible cat living in their home. It could be heard and felt, but never seen. One time the owner was laying on her bed when she felt something jump up onto the bed and nestle in beside her. Like, what would happen if you accidentally sat on it? Like, you can't see it, so you don't know where it is. Then another family had an invisible dog living with them. At first, the family thought that their son had an imaginary friend that he named Duke. Duke was a dog who he would play with. Well, turns out that the previous owner that lived there had a dog named Duke that died in their home. I mean, my parents won't let me get me a pet, and maybe I should somehow try to get an invisible one. In our 7th spot, we have the Lady in White. The Queen Elizabeth Hotel in Montreal is a pretty famous hotel. A lot of famous individuals have stayed there over the years, such as John Lennon and Yoko Ono. But nowadays, the hotel is famous for having a different kind of guest. One that will never leave. Legend goes that the Queen Elizabeth Hotel is haunted by a ghost of a lady in white. Those who have stayed there have reported seeing her roaming the halls. Even sometimes she would visit the rooms of the guests, like, no lady, get your own room. Other people have woken up in the middle of the night to mysterious bangs, knocks, or footsteps coming from inside their rooms or the hallways. Whereas other guests claim that they have been pushed by an unseen force. Moving on to number 6, we have the Haunted Graveyard. Mount Royal is often described as a city of dead overlooking a city of living. Pretty creepy. But why is it called that? Because it has the largest intact burial grounds in North America, when you combine its 4 cemeteries. That's right, there are 4 cemeteries in the same region, so no wonder why this place is haunted. As soon as the sun goes down, it's said that a bunch of ghostly spirits like to wander around the graveyard. People who have taken photos of the cemetery at night have captured weird orange blurs or white orbs in the photos. Not only that, but you'll be able to hear the moans and cries of some of the ghosts that long to be living once again. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the Faculty Club. The Faculty Club at McGill University is a place for the school's elite, like professors and deans. But it's it's also a place for a number of ghosts. According to many sources, the faculty club is haunted by ghosts of the past. A lot of people claim that they feel uneasy inside the building, especially when it's late at night. Legend also goes that the piano in the basement likes to play by itself. Doors on the top floors will open and slam on their own. The elevator will shift between floors by itself. In the billiard room, the balls would roll on their own as if someone's playing a game. And sometimes banging and footsteps can be heard on the top floors when no one is there. Rumor goes that back in the day a maid was murdered on the 3rd floor, and she's behind some of the hauntings. I mean, that gives a new meaning to school spirit. In our 4th spot, we have the DUGGAN house. Surprise, surprise, McGill University has another haunted building. I'm not shocked at all. For starters, the DUGGAN house is one of the oldest buildings on campus, and it was built using hand-cut limestone recycled from Simon McTavish's haunted castle. So there you go, that's your problem right there. Why would you use stone from a haunted building? I know you're trying to cut costs or whatever, but ghosts ain't worth it. Anyways, it's said that tons of ghosts haunt this building. On one occasion, a student came to talk to her professor when she saw a shadow of a woman standing on the staircase behind her. She screamed, and all of a sudden the blinds in the room started to swing back and forth violently. She went to grab her purse to run out, but her purse was no longer with her. Instead, it was now dangling down from the blinds. Some say that the building is haunted by Simon McTavish himself, whereas others believe it's haunted by a worker that apparently fell to his death while demolishing the castle in 1861. Making our way down the list at number 3, we have Headless Mary. Okay, seriously, what's up with ghosts being named Mary? We have Bloody Mary, Resurrection Mary, and now we have Headless Mary. I swear, all scary ghosts are named Mary. Legend goes that in 1879, Lady of the Night Susan Kennedy murdered her best friend Mary Gallagher with an axe after a dispute over a client. She ended up decapitating Mary with an axe and placed her head in a bucket outside of her house. So now legend goes that every 7 years since her murder, Mary returns to the scene of the crime. People have reported seeing a headless woman walking down the street where she was killed. Her last appearance was on June 27, 2019. So now, in 2026, Headless Mary will be back again. Continuing on at number 2, we have the body snatching. Legend goes that during the 1800s, Montreal had a serious problem with body snatching. Who was responsible for this crime? Well, the students and faculty at McGill University, so no wonder their building is haunted. So apparently the Department of Medicine needed corpses for the students to dissect and study, but at the time it was illegal to carry out human dissections, unless the person was a criminal and that was their given punishment. However, the school rarely received executed criminals, so they solved this problem by grave robbing. Students at night would dig up bodies and bring them back to the university to the dissecting room. In the winter, when the bodies couldn't be buried because of the frozen ground, they would break into dead houses and take the corpse from their caskets. Then they would place the bodies on toboggans and push them down the snowy slopes. Like, that is just messed up on so many different levels. And in our number 1 spot, we have the cursed house. Montreal is home to hundreds of haunted buildings and homes, but there is none quite as haunted as this one. This house, whose location was not disclosed, was the site of a number of tragedies. Legend goes that back in the 1800s, 2 boys murdered the owner of the house and his wife before setting the building on fire. They were then found guilty and hung for their crimes. Then the house was rebuilt, but no one wanted to live there since they believed it was haunted. Then in 1905, a family moved into the house. The father was shocked because it was such a big house for such a low price. Yeah, my dude, it's because it's haunted. Like, don't real estate agents have to disclose that information to you? I don't know. Anyways, well, paranormal activity started to happen in the house. There would be random cold spots in the house. Sometimes you could hear disembodied voices of children laughing, and it felt like eyes were following them. One evening, the family's daughter was asleep when she woke up to the smell of smoke. She ran to her parents' room where she found her father dead, with scissors plunged into his neck, and her mother was engulfed in flames surrounded by 2 ghost boys. The same boys who killed the previous owners back in the day. A year later, the house was burned down again. And after that, it was never rebuilt again. Thank gosh. And that's all for today's video. I've learned that Montreal is the hot spot for ghost hunters, and now I'm tempted to take a trip there and do some investigating of my own. Who's with me? Now it's time for our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments for my video Top 10 Scary Barbie Urban Legends Part 2. Winter Wolf commented, is it just me, or is it whenever she says comment shoutout portion, I think she says common shoutout portion. Also, it makes me think of noodles for some reason when she says noodled. When did I say noodled? That's not part of my thing. I don't say noodled. I've never said noodled, so I probably said something else that sounded like noodles. I don't know. Doing the Unspeakable commented, so it's a coffin Barbie. Does she need some cough medicine? That was so bad. I like it. Migs commented, I can feel Lindsay's frustration through the screen because of the constant interruption of the hammering / construction. There is nothing worse than being in the middle of a sentence and then hearing in the background. Like you have to stop and then restart. But every time I restart, it's like hi, my name is. It's like they're timing it on purpose to mess with me. So yeah, it was a little frustrating. And that's all the comments I'm showing out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Noodled. And it was built using hand-cut limestone recycled from Simon McTavish's. Whew. Nice. And it was built using hand-cut limestone recycled from Simon McTavish's. I knew this. Okay. And it was built using hand-cut limestone recycled from Simon. And it was cut using hand-cut. I don't know. And it was built. Some say that the building is haunted by salmon. Haunted by salmon.